Hello everyone, it's been a while since I last did an IG live and I feel very excited as I have been so busy setting aside time for my family, having a whole new different schedule and also giving my insurance business a whole detox for the past 1.5 years. So I have been as a financial advisor in AIA for about 9 years already. This year is coming 9th year. That's really long, coming to have like a whole decade altogether. And I only realized how time wasting it was for the past 7.5 years, right? Because there were actually 3 biggest myths around it. And I realized that that was the biggest thing that was stopping me from making more money and enjoying my time freedom. Look, we are in here in a self-employed, being an entrepreneur, being different from other people, working harder than other people, sometimes even working on weekends. And why do we actually seem to actually have less time? And it was only in the past 1.5 years when I decided to crack the code. Of course, I decided to step out of the insurance industry for a short while. But I was still maintaining my business with my existing clients, and I was also setting up a coaching business that actually focuses on helping women lead empowered and time freedom lifestyles. And that was actually when I realized that, oh my goodness, for so many years of my life, I actually have been wasting it. I actually have been doing it completely wrong. So here they are. Myth number 1, gaining clients. Okay, if you want to gain clients, you have to knock on 100 doors. Alright, listen, 100 doors. Meet 10 people and only 1 person will buy. So that is like what? A probability of 1 out of 100 person who will buy? Like you just go around like blind. Like can you imagine this person like blind knocking on every single door and then hoping, wishing by a stroke of luck and miracle that the next person that they knock on will buy. Right? And how time wasting this is, because when I heard that, knock on 100 doors, meet 10 people or call 10 people and only 1 person will buy, I was like, oh my goodness, that's an incredible amount of effort. But guess what? At that point in time, I just listened and I just did whatever that the industry was doing. And it kind of like, hey, hi, salted caramel. And I was like, oh my goodness, this is so time consuming. Yes, I get it. I'm single. I don't have a kid. I can do this. But what about, if I transit my life into being a parent, I want to set aside more time for my family, for my kids, especially like at night. I want to put my baby to sleep on most nights. Then it means what? It means, hey, hi, Tan. It means what? It means knocking on like random doors again. Like how? Like how time consuming and how energy consuming is that gonna be? But just like everybody, I did it. And the truth is that when I step out of it and I set up my own coaching business, the truth is what you can do is just find 10 clients who will rave about you. All you need is 10 clients who love you and they love what you do. Because guess what? These 10 people are gonna rave about you. They are gonna write reviews for you if you know how to ask them properly. They're gonna write great testimonials from you that is so electrifying and so activating when the next aligned client is looking at it. They're gonna refer their family and friends to you. Why do you think you still have to knock on 100 doors? So I was like mind blown. I was like, oh my goodness, why isn't this sales process being emphasized on time and time again? Instead, what they are telling people to do in the industry, and very, very common, is after you sign a policy, ask them straight away for referrals. But the thing is that if you haven't built a relationship with them strong enough and long enough, of course, sometimes give time. And why are we missing that gap where we actually can also have great reviews? Right? So when I actually built my coaching business that way, I saw how transformational the results was, because I actually only had less than 7 clients, but I actually made 62k Sing dollars out of it. And that's an incredible amount. Why? Because these people, they came referred. These people, they actually came reading reviews about me. So when they came in, they were very they already knew what they were in for. They knew that they're coming in for the high price point. They were already set at the energetic level where they are ready to pay the amount in order for me to transform their lives. But of course, I won't compare a same product to another. Like coaching and insurance is still totally different product. But still, the point is that after I brought it back to my insurance business, I started asking my clients for great reviews, and I have so many of them. Like all of them started pouring in, and it was so activating to read all of them. And I was like, oh my goodness, if only I knew about this like in the second year or the third year, it will make my life so much easier when it comes to client acquisition. So that's myth number 1. Myth number 2, I actually have to sign the policy with them, or I can only close a deal face to face, and it would take me 3 appointments to close a policy. Why? First appointment, meet them, talk to them about it, let them think about it. Second time, meet them, convince them about it, persuade them about it, and the third time is to sign. Like, oh my goodness, 3 appointments. Like, I'm a mom now, my time is very time strapped. How am I gonna take away that time where it can be like, more better utilized, like at night with my kid, or whether is it me having my downtime? Like, I hate to sacrifice on my sleep. Like this morning, I was in fact having an insurance sharing with my team that I never ever love. Like, I can sacrifice food, but I cannot sacrifice my sleep. That's one thing for sure. And I realized there were so many different ways, especially with after COVID, right? There were so many different ways you can use to close a case. I had a phone call, 10-minute phone call, and I signed a $1,000 policy. I signed another 6,000 policy over Zoom, open, pitch, close. And of course, I had WhatsApp, there was like also smaller policies, people telling me $450 policy. They said that, hey, I want to get this. And the transaction was so easily done. So gone were the days, and in case some people they think it takes up a lot of time, gone were the days where you actually have to close an appointment like face to face. Oh my goodness, yes, I can do it if I am single, unmarried, or in fact if I am married, or I need to just tell my husband to go and settle his own stuff for a while. But if I have a kid, and especially if I have a young kid, I want to prioritize my family time, and I want to prioritize their needs as well, or even, right? And what is the most greatest and time efficient way to close a sale? It is when all you need to, all the preparation, all the information, all the trust has been built already through multiple touch points, to the point that when you actually meet them face to face, or when you actually ask them, okay, that's when they say yes, they will get it. But a lot of steps, multiple touch points, because in order for a sale to be done, there has to be multiple touch points. So I'm not denying that in my system, but I have built my system where it's very time efficient, okay, high conversion sale as well, so that all I want to do, like plainly speaking, if I can just meet 5 people in the month, not like in a week, okay, 5 people in a month, that's all I want, and it's enough for my sales for the month. Yeah, and right now I'm doing that. Whereas in the past, people say that you have to meet 3 people a day, 5 people, 5 days a week, 15 people a week to actually, have that probability. And I'm like, that is so draining, and I don't want to do it. I don't want to meet 15 people in a month. I just want to only meet 5. And that is what I'm doing right now in my very time efficient insurance business. I have shifted it from time wasting to time efficient. The last one, I have to work non-stop, including weekends. Like how many, property agents out here, or like advisors or people who are in sales have heard about this? Or even when you're in corporate, like people tell you that you have to sit in front of your desk all the time. And this is one thing that I completely killed when I moved on to become, a time freedom coach, productivity coach, where I actually help people utilize their time in such a smart way that they have so much leftover time for everything that they love. Like, I feel that time freedom is a right, okay? It's not a choice. It is a right. It's our birthright as a woman. Our birthright comes to when we can enjoy, where we can relax, where we can just have fun, okay? And that is our birthright. So this whole idea about having time freedom is for you, so that it's for you to get fast results, so that you can enjoy more time doing the things you love. So the myth about working non-stop, okay, that is total bull. And I have no idea why I bought into it when I first joined the industry like 9 years ago. Of course, at that point in time, I was staying in the office until 9 plus 10, even though there was nobody telling me to do so. I was actually knocking out like 3 appointments on weekends, 3 appointments on Saturday, 3 appointments on Sunday, and I'll be like burnt out by the time Monday comes. But I thought to myself that like that's what everybody does. And you know, that is total BS, and I have no idea why I bought into it. Now I know why. Because back then, when everybody doesn't believe or doesn't know about what it is to be time efficient. Can you imagine that right now, the kind of lifestyle that I'm leading? I take my son to school, I prepare his morning routine, I put a hard stop limit to what time I stop work, which is actually 4 o'clock, not 5 o'clock, not 6 o'clock, but 4 o'clock. Why 4 o'clock? Is so that I actually have 1 hour to decompress before he comes back from school. And so technically the working hours for me is like really not much. But guess what I do at that time? At that point in time, I'm very focused. I'm very strong. Hey, hi Jerry. I'm very focused. I'm very efficient. And I'm very clear-headed about what I'm exactly need to do. So there is no procrastination in between. No overthinking in between. I'm just and I just do my work like that. And this is how, like, even when I actually make phone calls to my clients, I actually can have 10 phone calls and like 5 or 6 of them agree to meet me readily the next week. Not even like next week. It's like next week. You know how rare is that? Because like in the insurance world, it's like, oh, you have to, they will meet you like 3 weeks later, 4 weeks later. I'm like, man, I don't even know if I'm free to meet you in that time. So I did also have clients who say that, oh, but you can do KIV and meet me like a month later or like 8 weeks later, and say, let's put a rain check on that and I will see whether I can accommodate your schedule. So my working hours right now are short, sweet, and sharp. That's it. Okay, and I still, you know, tomorrow I'll actually be releasing about my passive income as well. One great thing which I realized that last year I was spending a lot of time building my second business. I wasn't even taking notice about my insurance business, but I realized that 42% of my annual income actually came from passive income. That was crazy. That really blew my mind, because what was I doing? I was actually doing IG live, I was doing content, I was being coached by somebody, which now I have stopped already. I was being coached by somebody, I was doing my studies, I was like, you know, taking time off to go shopping, I was just doing lots of stuff, except being not like working on my insurance business like 5 days a week. And that is the beauty of when you actually choose to have a career that actually has passive income. So why I keep talking about this? Because at the end of the day, time freedom is a birthright for women. Time freedom is something that we deserve. It's not something that we are not meant. Okay, we are not meant to be working non-stop. That's the truth. We are not meant to be sitting in front of the computer. We get burnt out, we get exhausted, but men actually don't get that as much as women. Why? Because the endorphins actually work very differently in a woman and a man. A man actually gets more charged up when they actually, you know, they keep chasing after targets, they get very enthusiastic, they feel more charged up. But for us women, we have a much lower threshold for that. Like, don't take my word for it. You can read Men Are From Mars, Women Are From Venus. It's science proven in our biology that women are meant to relax, are meant to enjoy, you know, have no time pressure, and men are meant to chase after targets. Well, that's the truth. So these are the 3 insurance myths that I feel is so false. Gaining clients, okay, all you need is 10 raving clients. Number 2, you actually can close an appointment, you know, in any technology, you know, using phone call, Zoom, WhatsApp, everything. And in fact, I just reserved the big policies for face-to-face, like a 7K, 8K, 9K, 10K kind of policy. And then working hours is, you have to set your own hours first before you let your clients take a slot. Alright, I'll talk more about that when I talk about creating an easy, effortless, and enjoyable business, which also comes from easy clients, on Friday. And next week, I'm actually very excited to be having a Mompreneur special. So I'm actually I don't know what's been going on, like people have been inviting me for interviews, but next week, okay, I'm gonna have a very special event going on. Wednesday, I'm actually invited a great mompreneur who I admire, who I worked with. You probably would have seen her on my IG stories. Invited her as well. And then the next day, I'm actually going to talk about, and then I'm going to have another day, I'm going to talk about what it takes to have insurance as a career for time freedom lifestyle, because I have been receiving that quite a fair bit. Some people have interest in wanting to know how does this work, how does this industry work, or like how time freedom can be used and to create a lifestyle for us women. And finally, I've also been invited by my millionaire dating coach to be speaking at her summit with other huge 6-figure and even 7-figure coaches in her summit, all happening next week. Oh, and I have another interview with someone who actually wants to speak to me about women on managing their finances. So thank you so much for spending your time with me. If you're watching this on replay, please drop a comment, or you can always DM me 3 insurance time myths that are so false. Alright, so I hope that was mind-blowing for you. Alright, thank you.